It's incredibly frustrating. It's overwhelming. You're not only dealing with a child that has some extra needs, or a dependent for that matter. It doesn't necessarily mean to be a child. That in itself is very difficult. It is extremely challenging for military families, particularly when they move so often. They often don't get off wait lists until the time they move again. So we see families continually falling between the cracks.
Our son has cerebral palsy, and we were able to move here and hit the ground running in terms of actually sending our son to school, because had we not had this all prearranged, our son would not have been able to go to school day one.
About a year prior to them moving, I received a phone call from Jolene LaHaye saying that Victoria was on their list of places that they might be posted to.
I called the MFRC this time and I said, hey, we've moved multiple times. We've spent so much money. I want to know if there's actually some resources here to help us. Once Colleen and I talked, then everything changed. And then it was just a huge amount of resources. And I think the one big thing that came out of my conversations with her, and probably 6 months before we moved, was that we needed to get on everything right away.
When families move with any dependent who has special needs, their equipment doesn't necessarily come with them. Their assessments don't necessarily carry from province to province. We try to educate families about preparing in advance. My role is to help teach the family how to self-advocate for themselves, how to connect with resources, how to do this when this happens for them again. The longer gap there is in therapy and services, the more that child could go backwards in terms of their development, and that's greater gains they have to make.
Still our responsibility as our family to advocate for our son and our dependents, but she gives us the tools and resources and simplifies and focuses us in our advocation to make sure we're advocating to the right people and calling the right people.
We actually were a success story in terms of we moved here, got BC Medical within the week. There was a few paperwork issues that week. And then within another week, we had the at-home program come in, do an assessment, and within a month, Zach was on the at-home program. That doesn't happen normally. Normally, it's a year at least from the day you move to getting those medical expenses covered. Medical equipment is extremely expensive. And so being on the at-home program is really important to a family like us.
I'm playing a role in their lives at a critical point in their lives. It's a critical transition. And so for me, I'm doing my job, and I think you would see anyone else do that job at an MFRC to help them ease that transition, to help them acclimatize to their new location. It all comes down to Zach. At the end of the day, this is about making sure Zach is supported.